Before I even start, I want to mention some ground rules first. Do not attempt to find nor contact any of the people mentioned. Do not harass or bully any party involved, including me, or try to be a vigilante. This video will be going over a situation I was in about 5 to 6 months ago. Here are your warnings showing on the screen now. And now, let's start. By no means this is a call-out video, as the person I'll be talking about is nowhere near known, as this is more of a personal doc that I have a history with the people involved. This isn't the first time that I've talked publicly about this. I've already posted 3 videos about this situation, one including events shortly after the situation, and the other 2 regard the doc I made about it months later. I won't be name dropping anybody in this situation, although I know in my recent post I did, and now that I'm no longer angry, I regret doing so. Despite this, let me introduce you to everybody you need to know in order to understand everything. Also, by the way, these are placeholder names in order for nobody to try to hunt these people down, so no, these aren't their real or preferred names. Thanks. This is Watermelon. Watermelon is going to be the main focus of this doc and the reason why many things escalated. And funny enough, I didn't actually come up with this nickname, as I stole this from another creator that's going to be in this video. Speaking of, this is Moon. Moon is another very big contribution to this whole mess and is also the big main push to me uploading and creating my Google Doc. Moon used to be an old friend of mine and another person that I'm still currently friends with. There's a lot to say about Moon, but I won't get into that right now. This is Grape. Grape is who I'd call the victim in all this, although I want to mention that there isn't ever the perfect victim. The way people act and react to certain things sometimes aren't always healthy. Just wanted to throw that in there. This is Valiant. Valiant is the friend that I mentioned earlier, and he was also friends with Moon, although there was some issues in the friendship that might be spoken here. Valiant helped me get through the times Moon spread lies about me after spreading lies about him personally as well. And there's me. My name will be the only one not censored as stated in the doc. I'm taking accountability as I am not innocent in this story neither, as I also know I'm the one who let things escalate farther too. There's other people that's in this, but they aren't as important as the people I already mentioned. Throughout the video, I'll be flip-flopping through the names Cat and Swap, as those are the names I'm addressed by Watermelon and all the others. And finally, let's talk about what happened and why running away from your past doesn't work. On August 2nd, 2025, Moon had made a video against Valiant, talking about how Valiant is a bad person, along with the server me and him run on Discord. His video was a response to Valiant, which he made on July 29th, 2025. For context, Moon claims that Valiant is a groomer and not a good person to be around. And I assure you, my friend had already debunked a lot of what Moon had threw around, and that Moon likes to stretch things almost all the time. Near the end of Moon's video, however, Moon mentions Watermelon, saying me and Valiant attacked her and a 13-year-old. 13-year-old being Grape. Moon claims that we attacked the 2 for lying and for speaking out against me watching porn and gore with Grape. It's a lot, I know. Take a breather and take breaks if needed to. Moon says this in a way that makes it seem like I was alone with Grape, making it seem that I was the one that put it on, and once Watermelon and Grape came out about this, me and Valiant attacked them for it. But this is once again a lie, and I didn't know the degree to how far Moon would go for lying. Whether if it was because Watermelon lied to Moon about what happened first, or if Moon had just didn't understand fully of what he was being told. Even then, it wasn't okay for him to word it like this, as this is life-ruining, of course. But how did we get to this point? Well, let's go back to the date June 9th, 2025, where I had first met Watermelon. Remember when I said there were other people involved, but not really? There was about 6 or 8 people in a group I barely hung out with on Roblox, but I only really knew one person in that group. My memory is kind of hazy, as this was also 5 months ago, so cut me some slack. The friend invited me to play a game on Roblox with their other friends, and I had agreed to join as I had nothing else to do, which I had fun, don't get me wrong. During the game, however, a person within the group wanted to call on Discord to be able to play the game more easier without constantly needing to type, which I understood, and I told them I could add them while another person in the group added agreed. Now, I know we all first added each other in that moment, but we did call on a server instead of a group chat, though we did do that later on, but soon deleted it as me and the other person didn't really talk. As for the person that had originally wanted to call, yeah, that was Watermelon. After the game, me and Watermelon got along and soon became friends. I also wanted to add in something that's very important. Watermelon loved to call, so most of the stuff I'll be telling you doesn't have a lot of screenshots, so I'll need you guys to please take my word for a lot of the stuff I'll be saying throughout the video. After it was sort of established that we were friends, Watermelon had seemed to already grow close to me, as well as vulnerable. She had told me about the next day, after we played, that she was, quote, tweaking out. She constantly begged to call, although I had already told her no, she would insist. And so, after trying to get her to tell me on text, we called for the next 3 hours, up until 2 a.m. This would be repetitive. During one of our conversations, Watermelon had informed me she was kicked out of a server she had never talked in and began to freak out again. And usually, I don't ever talk about stuff like this, but since I wanted to help her out, I told Watermelon that there might have been a couple of reasons why she was kicked. I then began to give an example as to why she might have been kicked, using the time when I was also kicked from a server after some owners discovered my then Twitter account, which I explained it contained things that I don't agree with anymore. And here's where I believe I made my first mistake. Bringing up such topics like this might have showed Watermelon that it'd be okay to start talking about stuff like that. Although I should mention that this would be the one and only time I'd ever bring up a sexual topic, and which I didn't even continue. I digress. Also, for the ages, I was 17 and I still am, and Watermelon was 16, though I don't know if she still is or not. Anyway, from then on, Watermelon would continuously bring up the topics of being sexual, being high, or self-harm. She also liked to bring up kinks and try to find out what turned me on. I do admit I had a problem not just with her, but with my other friends and family about not being able to say no. Whenever there was something I didn't want to do, I wouldn't say anything and just go along with what they wanted to avoid them being hurt. I was and still am a massive people pleaser. So when she asked me these things, I would only ever enable her. So I don't blame her for not knowing if I was okay with this stuff or not. On the 13th of June, we'd delve into another call that would last 3 hours, where in this call, we'd play Roblox again. And we'd then share sexually drawn images that we drew, and that would be because, once again, Watermelon brought it up. Another thing to add is that during these calls, Watermelon would almost always be talking about either self-harm, porn, or being high. Now, I know that she was probably mentally ill, and that's when I seriously should have said something, but in a way, all of this talk was sort of beginning to enable me as well, because this is how I used to act in 2023. And so, that's why I began to engage in it again. During this call, as well, she'd asked if I ever ERPed before. ERP, aka ERP, stands for erotic roleplay, by the way. And the last time I ever actually did that was in, I believe, early 2024. That's when we began sexting. On the 14th of June, the next day, I believe we were calling in a server this time, playing either Roblox or Minecraft. And this is where we both meet Grape for the first time. Although I know he was in my server before, I just never knew the guy, nor recognized him as his profile pictures changed frequently. Grape had begun to talk with us and soon played Minecraft together. I remember it being so fun and I was very happy, but it seemed Watermelon felt the opposite as she was quiet throughout most of the call. I remember when me and Grape were talking, Watermelon would whine and complain about any little thing that Grape did. I tried to calm her down, but every time I did, Grape would mess with her and joke around about her crying. This would lead to Watermelon leaving the call and telling me that she was going to harm herself. At the time, I thought she was just overreacting and just looking for my attention after me and Grape were constantly talking in the call. But, of course, I should have known from the past week we'd been talking that she might have actually been serious and had done it. Now, I don't exactly remember what got on between this moment and the next, but I do know that we all added each other before the call ended. Okay, this isn't a part of the script, but I was just looking through me and Watermelon's messages, and I forgot to mention that Grape is a system, which a system is DID, unless if I got that wrong, I'm sorry if I did, but yeah. And it's also shown in the messages that between the hours that we had left the call and now, Watermelon and Grape had been talking, I think. I mean, I know this in the future, but at this moment I didn't know, but now that I'm looking back, they did have each other added, so yeah, and they've been talking. 2 hours later, after the call, Grape had messaged me asking if I had a crush on Watermelon. I didn't know where this came from at the time, but I responded later during the day that my feelings are, and still, so very complicated. I suspect that I might be Aries, but I don't really know. At the end of that day, Watermelon had texted me telling me that she was crushing on me and that she wanted to give her a chance so we could try to date. That's when it clicked for me that was probably why Grape had asked me previously. I suspect that after Grape and Watermelon set aside their differences, Watermelon got close to Grape and told him that she liked me. Discord. Despite this, we'd still call and talk normally while playing games or drawing. On the 17th, Watermelon told me she had something to say and asked to call. Again, never really liking to call, I agreed, but on the condition for only a little bit. That call would last 2 hours. Now, sometime during this call, it would be the first time that gore would be brought up for the first time. Though it hadn't been my first time seeing it such, due to a friend once showing it to me back in 2023. But let it be clear that she was the one who put it on, nor have I ever asked her, not even once, to put it on. Once again, due to me not saying anything, or even saying no, we were enablers. It wasn't healthy for us to be watching that stuff, but despite this, Watermelon sent me the link to the site, which I believe was on my request. I'm not the type of person to enjoy watching that stuff, as I was also squeamish. But again, being with her had me slowly going back to my old roots. Though, before this, I want to bring up the time that she did ask me one time if I ever wasn't comfortable with the things she did, and almost like a free pass where I could have brought up some stuff that did make me uncomfortable, I of course lied. Or more so brushed it off like I always do. Which is where I want to say yes, that's another mistake that I did, and I'm sorry for that. In the meantime, Watermelon and Grape have been talking on the sidelines, getting along and doing things I wasn't aware of. No matter the case, I still enjoyed the times us three talked and played Minecraft, though not including the times when the two fought. And so finally, we made a group chat on the 19th due to my request since I was tired of us calling in the server. Now, I really need you to pay attention because now we're getting into the horrible claims that Moon and Watermelon spread about me, whether on purpose or accident. The same night we made the group chat, we decided to start a call that would last for 2 whole days. We talked and played Minecraft, but I soon got tired and departed. This next couple of parts are probably going to be confusing because 1, my memory sucks, 2, stuff that I generally don't like will get suppressed due to my brain trying to protect me, and 3, I'm also going based off the timeline, plus a lot of the stuff is on call, nothing is on screenshots. And it's confusing because all this happened on the 20th. I recall everything that was fine until Watermelon had told me to reply to our roleplay, and I was. This got Grape intrigued, and he would then begin to beg Watermelon to roleplay with him as well. We avoided talking to him about it, and we did our part of ignoring his request. Although there aren't any screenshots of what me and Watermelon were saying, all that's left is Grape's pleas. Now though, Watermelon acknowledges him, and you know what she does next? What do you think, Swap? Huh? Oh, I mean, if you want, and if Grape wants, and if you guys are both okay with it, I guess. Oh, okay. Of course, I'm sure it wasn't 100% like this, as I don't remember as much, but it was something along the lines of, if you want. Now, as the older party in that moment, I should have directly said no. It wasn't clear whether they were talking about spicy or just normal, but it didn't really matter, as in the end, I still gave them the okay, I guess. Watermelon uses this moment to put the blame on me for even deciding to roleplay with a 13-year-old. That's later though. After that, I told them I'd be off to bed, and that was that. Oh yeah, I should also mention that Watermelon literally made Grape promise not to tell anybody about their roleplay, which was already isolated. This had been due to her paranoia, along with the reason why she ran away from her previous account to begin with. The next day came, and I had been away from my phone for the entire day. When I came back, I saw they were both still on call and was bewildered. I asked if they were roleplaying and told them to stop. I wasn't taken seriously though. At this time, all I had known was that they were roleplaying, nothing else. I joined back onto the call and they were still roleplaying. By this time, me and Watermelon had already done a span of 3 roleplays, and I was waiting for Watermelon to respond to my reply. The two were solely focused on theirs. I didn't mind though, but I thought it would be something to mention. Later on, it'd be as normal until we noticed Grape had gone silent. Us being confused at first, we shrugged it off, and Watermelon would take this opportunity to put on porn, Rule 34, and gore. And once again, I made the disgusting mistake of not telling him to knock it off. This timeline is confusing due to reasons I mentioned before, plus I misremembered some points in the doc, which I'll fix later, but they all lead to the same point. After that, Watermelon soon told me Grape was sad and she'd tell me that he's killing himself. She would repeat this over and over again, beginning to make me freak out as well. I decided to ask him myself if he was okay, but all he replied with wasn't a reaction emoji. I then left and texted Watermelon that Grape wasn't dead. At this point, I was growing frustrated and even more tired. On the 22nd, Valiant found out about Watermelon and Grape and have urged me to separate the two. And so, on the same day, I wrote my message to Watermelon and we talked. Then it soon became an argument about who was to take the blame. After I found out that they watched porn together, I confronted her. I was only in the know they were role-playing, like mentioned earlier. Watermelon agrees and sends her final message to Grape, and that is when we say our goodbyes. Okay, that was a lot. But unfortunately, it isn't done. Remember when Watermelon was kicked from a server due to them believing she was a stalker? That server belonged to Moon. Remember Moon? Yeah. Moon and I had our differences after our friend, Valiant. I won't really talk about Moon's video as it's unrelated, but it co-signs with the fact that he's a liar. He has a huge friend group that likes to say that they're keeping people safe while they simultaneously are very passive-aggressive. That's all. Right now, I believe I've talked about everything I can, and anything else I can say will just be small things I want to point out that I couldn't earlier. Watermelon seems to have a history of reaching out to people I've talked about before, whether it be out of malicious or solely to know who I'm talking to, though the people I've ever mentioned to her were people I've had hiccups with. This goes along with Watermelon joining Moon's server shortly after me venting to her about me and Moon's past friendship. And I believe then that is what happened with me, her, and Grape got into Moon's video, despite Watermelon saying she wanted nobody to find out. Now tell me this. How come it only benefit her if Moon told a story completely fabricated to make it seem Watermelon was innocent? Like, they literally try to make it seem like I was the only one who did something wrong. But now, don't get me wrong. It was absolutely disgusting of me to not say anything about what Watermelon had done. I could have helped her get help, but in the end, we were both not mentally okay. Now, I know I'm going on a tangent about all this and losing focus, so let's come to a conclusion and end this. I was friends with a person with clear mental problems as well as hypersexuality. She couldn't control that side of her, and I was to blame for not stopping her doing gross things with Grape. Just because I was never good at saying no to things, I let things escalate to a point of no return. I take blame for letting the situation continue. I should have told Watermelon the times I wasn't okay with certain things and never allowed them to roleplay. The part of me that was afraid to hurt people still ended up hurting them because of this. I'm sorry for being a bystander. Unlike some people, I heavily censored everybody's names so nobody goes after them. As stated in the beginning, mine is the only one shown because I am taking accountability. And if you want, you could even call this an apology video. Now, I also want to put this here. Go on, read it. I say this because Watermelon decided to message me today, while going with the belief that I'm saying that I'm innocent. She says that I harmed myself on call when that all happened and masturbated too. And let me be clear. Everything that's in this video and in the doc are the only things that happened. Nothing is left out. Although some things are only in the doc and some things are only in this video. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all this video was really about. I just wanted to come out against what I done, and I'm taking accountability for what I did. I'm just basically saying, don't be a bystander, and if you see something that's not supposed to be happening, say something. Don't let it go by, you know? I'm usually not somebody that's drama related, but I felt the need to say something, and if it has to come this way, I will make a part 2.